Hello, welcome back. So in this part we are going to be hopefully taking 2 towns, possibly 3 towns. This army is looking slightly weaker than I remembered actually, but I still think it's got to have a decent chance of taking out a large number of javelin men, plus a couple of Numidian cav, all skirmishy units, and we've got 4... Well, I guess if you add this unit here and this unit here together, it's kind of like 4 full units of cavalry, so we should be able to chase them down and deal with them easily enough. We've also got this town in the east, Cyrene, which we are attacking with our faction leader, who also has a kind of reasonable, not massive army, but certainly massive enough to take on a fairly weak garrison force. 2 militia hoplites, one of which is almost entirely dead, and then there's this Numidian army, which is also very weak. And lastly, we've got this town right on the south of the map, which I'm not exactly sure what's in there, but we're going to check that next turn. And if it's reasonably easy to take out, then we're going to try and take that one as well. We've also been given a mission by the Senate to blockade this dock here, which essentially means going back to war with Carthage. I'm slightly reluctant to do that because we've got 3 towns, or is it, well, 2 towns, 3 arguably, if you say Carthage counts, and we've got 3 towns along the north coast of Africa which are potentially vulnerable to landings from Carthage. And I'm spread fairly thin across there, so I'm not sure I want to provoke war with Carthage just yet, but it's a potential option. Another thing I mentioned at the end of the previous part was the British Isles, because I came up with a fairly crazy scheme, which was to... I think I insinuated at least that I was considering sailing all the way north and making a landing on Ireland, because there is a settlement there, and for some reason I had it in my head that Britannia never goes for that settlement, but I don't really think that's true. I think they will go for it, so I'm not sure why I came up with that idea actually, but I'm not going to do that anyway, because I think, especially if we're going to be incentivized to go to war with Carthage, we want to have some kind of decent force on the southern edge of Iberia here, so we won't be doing that. Anyway, pretty much done everything for this turn. I'm just going to send this scout to check out the southeast just in case there's a hidden Numidian army, which would be strange because why would they go through the desert, but for peace of mind I thought I should check that out. We've got a diplomat on the way to this town anyway, so we should see what they've got in there, and this spy can pretty much just carry on to the east. And I think there's a town just there, also on the southern edge of the map, and then we find Egypt, who are going to be a potential threat. Last thing to potentially consider is Sparta, and whether by exterminating these towns we might be able to just about afford to possibly go for a landing party. I know I've suggested that several times and never actually gone through with it, so no guarantees. We'll see what happens. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, that's kind of annoying because I would have been able to chase that down, but never mind. Been over a week since I last recorded a part, so I forgot about that. Okay, let's see. Where's this happening? This is not the weakest of my navies. I'd hope it would go okay. It's kind of annoying that they took that fight actually, it was never in their favour. A candidate for adoption, Flavius the Lewd. He's a social drinker. A wall breaker. I thought that was going to be a euphemism for something. Why is he the lewd and he's a wall breaker? But it literally means he's good at breaking walls. Anyway, that's really good. He's a great commander, so he's got 3 stars off the bat, 1 star just for being a social drinker, and goes up to 6 stars if we use him to attack a city. Plus we've lost a few Roman generals recently, and he's only 21 years old, so seems pretty promising. Not sure where he's going to appear. His name is Gnaeus. Where is he? Ah, he's in the capital. That's kind of unfortunate. It's quite a long way to go to get pretty much anywhere, but it should be good to have. I just need to remember that he exists and not leave him rotting there for too long. Parthia and Pontus are allies, and Parthia and Egypt have declared a ceasefire. That's all fairly remote. Equites and Thapsus, potentially useful if we want to make a push on this southern town. I think we've got to see what they've actually got in there first.
Can I be of service? At once.
Not quite close enough yet.
Honor. At once. Moves depleted, sir. General!
One of these again we can't see. This army though should be able to take them on whatever they are, so let's push them back and deal with them. This is small enough that I feel like auto-resolve would probably work, but I still don't trust it. I'm gonna take the fight. Got an interesting full desert battle here. Actually barely see through the sand, which is unusual. They parked themselves at the top of this hill. I'm still not sure what they have just yet, but I'm assuming it could just be a pair of peasants based on the auto-resolve. So let's check that out. If it is just peasants, then there's no reason to charge them just yet. Ah, they do have something. It's not just peasants, there's something else. What are they? Javelin men. Okay, that's not ideal. Those could actually take out quite a few of our cav. We need to go and charge in straight away. I want to give them as few opportunities to throw their javelins as possible. And this is definitely a battle that I could have edited out, but I actually think it's pretty cool just to see the proper desert terrain. Not sure if the sandstorm actually affects anything, but they've not had any chance to throw. Well, we still lost a few, but
the gods be praised.
Ended the battle fairly quickly, and let's just try and sweep them up so that there's nothing left of them. Okay, that was fine. Auto-resolve probably would have lost us like 50 soldiers or something stupid like that, so best not to do it. And I feel like this force is reasonably strong.
Victory!
I can't recall what they have in this town, but I wonder if this alone would be strong enough to make a push.
March!
Got a much stronger rebel force there. Slightly concerning. Only really got the option of Libyan mercenaries, which not gonna exactly swing the tide of battle. Turncoat slave, that's pretty nice to have if we do get attacked by this rebel family member. We've got the Proconsul's Palace in Lilybium. Hopefully that's going to improve their public order slightly. Which it has done, but not by a huge amount, so that's not too great, really. Let's possibly get the Temple to Neptune just to make them slightly happier. It's fairly cheap. Pretty happy to go with that. What else have we built? Suez and Tingi. These guys still have the Temple to Baal. Now I don't really know, if I destroy this, are they going to get less happy or more happy? Because the culture penalty will go down. We will lose the benefits of the building, the plus 10% to happiness and law. Yeah, it's made them quite a bit less happy in fact. So they could potentially go for the Shrine to Neptune here, but I don't think this is going to be a major naval town, so just going to play it safe. Go for the Shrine to Saturn, and try and get that public order back up. Recruit a few more Hastati just in case we do go for the attack on Carthage, and I think we need to be moving our navy over in consideration of that. How long do we actually have to get that done? 4 turns, so not long. Got to make a pretty quick decision. I'm leaning towards doing it. It's good that the rebel family member hasn't come. Actually, it's still the same turn, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And there was another town that I forgot to check. Thapsus. These guys were reasonably happy, but they're starting to get a little bit shaky again. I'm going to play it safe with the Temple of Saturn there, and Lepsis Magna has suddenly gone extremely unhappy. Pretty sure they were on 80% before, so it must just be the presence of those two rebel forces. I don't think I have much in the town to actually fight those off. At least not confidently. I've got a fair amount, in fact. But I can't see what they have. It's got to be doable, though. Just want to make sure we can get back.
Engage the enemy! Victory! Engage the enemy!
Again, I'm going to fight this one, but I think I will edit this out because it's not looking like it's going to be a tough fight. Okay, it was a simple enough fight, and we've come out of it with something potentially pretty great here. We've got a 20-year-old man of the hour. He's a naturally good commander. He's got a command talent. He's got a drill master. So less morale for the opposing units, more movement points, and better public order if we do leave him in a town. And he's also got a few more hit points, which I'm not convinced is going to make any difference at all, because in my experience, the generals just fold like paper. But definitely worth having that guy, and he might even improve the public order in the settlement if we can get back. Which it doesn't look like we can, unfortunately. Possibly the cavalry can get back, but the public order situation is not good. Drop it to a low tax rate though, and looks like it's going to be okay. And he should make it back next turn. It's actually pretty tempting to send him south, just in case we need him to take on those rebels there.
Yes, master.
Wouldn't mind seeing these guys have just one unit of Iberian infantry. Should be able to chase that down pretty quickly. And possibly can just use the spy to make sure Lepsis Magna doesn't get attacked. Then we don't have to risk the Roman faction heir for too much, because I'm not confident he's going to be able to take a fight with the rebel family member there, so kind of want to avoid that. As for this, it looks like we're ready to attack. Let's remind ourselves of what's actually in here. So it's just that one unit of militia hoplites pretty much. We should be able to go in there and deal with those fairly quickly.
General, engage the enemy.
Actually got a damaged wall, but I don't think that's going to give us an immediate way in. It's tempting to auto-resolve, but I will fight it out.
This land is Roman.
Okay, we've taken the town. Fairly easy fight. Still lost a few though, because unfortunately, very difficult to surround a phalanx unit in the town square. They're not very happy, so I'm just going to straight up exterminate them. They're still not happy even after doing that, so I think that was the right choice. It's getting harder and harder to keep everyone happy, so you've got to do what you've got to do to keep them in line. Let's go straight in for land clearance, because that's going to be some nice, easy profit. We've also got some money from actually sacking the town as well. Lots of profit coming in, which is nice. We can potentially start to build up another unit. It's very tempting to go and attack Sparta, so I think we should start preparing to potentially do that. Probably want to be building Principes every turn, more or less. No real reason not to. Let's check that all the towns are busy. Lepsis Magna's the only one that's not building, which is fine because we're not able to build anything there at the moment. It's still waiting to increase its population, which could take a very long time, growing at plus 4.5% per turn. 600 pop needs to get to 2,000 to get to the next level. It's going to be a long one. Elsewhere in Cirta, I think we want to keep bolstering the infantry. We've had a nice supply of equites to take on the Numidians, but against the Carthaginians you probably want a few more infantry units of the more ordinary variety.
Imperator, onward!
Otherwise I think we're okay. I'm pretty tempted to recruit. Yeah, we'll get a trireme in Capua just so we can bring over our new family member, Gnaeus. He's definitely going to be a good choice to lead an attack on anyone, pretty much. It's also pretty tempting to bring the fleet here over, but I think we'll leave it in Cyrene for now. Carthage is still very unhappy. I think we just want to... I don't want to keep training peasants. I'm starting to wonder if possibly there is a spy in this town. I don't know if that creates squalor though. I know it lowers public order, someone pointed that out in the comments, but I don't know if it creates squalor. That seems like a strange thing for a spy to do. And yet I can't come up with any other reason why it's so unhappy and has such bad squalor, because it literally has public baths, it has its highest possible palace, it's got happiness buildings, it's got a large temple of Vulcan. It's going to have the arena at the end of this turn, and it's at 70%. I don't think towns tend to rebel at 70%, so I think we might actually be okay there.
Fleet ready.
So the last thing to potentially do is to build up more of an attacking force. Let's get some equites here. I think that should be fine for the turn. We do have a diplomat.
Can I be
I
of
can't
service?
quite remember, but I think he was attempting to establish relations
Shall speak with them.
with the Armenians. And they weren't very easy to negotiate with, so we're just going to ask for 100 this time. Okay, that time they're fine with it, so let's offer them map information. And let's see if they'll go a little bit higher. I think we tried 700 last time, this time we're going to try 600. See if they go for that. There we go. Nice bit of easy profit. And now I think we'll head south, look for the Seleucid Empire,
Move
try and rip them off before they get wiped out. And that's pretty much it for the turn. I also want to get an alliance with Thrace, because they're actually doing pretty well. And I think they're going to be a good ally to have when we eventually go to war with the Brutii. Really nice stack here. It's going to be... well, Larissa's already under siege, and it's not by the Romans, so possibly they've got two massive stacks coming south here. Armenia and Pontus are at war, and Egypt and Partha are at war, so that was a short-lived peace, I think. Broken alliance. Again, this is all very far in the east and not too relevant to us. Construction report, we've got lots of buildings to be constructing, and only 5,000 to do it with. Retinue expands, we got a guy who's come straight in with a shipwright. I suppose that's a consequence of having the shipwright building. If not, it could be... well, it's not a consequence of having the academy, because we're not actually finished building that one yet. Okay. In that case, let's send Neas and some Hastati into the ships. Capo is still relatively happy, so that's fine. We're going to send this to the south.
Yes, Captain. No
Keep building a
orders,
force
sir.
here in Sicily. More Principes, definitely. Equites. They can move over pretty quickly. One turn, in fact. Almost one turn. And public order's looking fine here. It's tempting to go for crop rotation, but I do like to keep all my settlements building more or less at the same time. The games haven't made too much of a difference. If I go up to monthly games, that does make them a lot happier, but it costs us, I think it costs us. Yeah, it costs us 400 per turn, just to make them that little bit happier. I'd much prefer not to do that. That's quite painful. But none of these are really going to improve happiness too much. The Awesome Temple of Vulcan would also be good for any units we recruit from here. I'm not sure about that one though. Something needs to be done. The militia barracks. Well, it squalors the problem, it's not the culture penalty, so just by destroying Carthaginian buildings, we're not necessarily going to gain that much. Possibly I should get a spy, because I think that could be the actions of a spy. Lowering our public order. If we get our own spy, it's going to counterbalance that a bit.
General.
And this guy here, our new general. Well, firstly, let's see what Numidia has
Honor.
in Nepte. Looks very weak. See if there's anything else.
Without delay. At once.
No, that's looking like it.
At once.
And these are not that strong either. There's that one strong unit
Orders.
that I prefer not to fight, but I'm going to try and go around them.
March. March.
If they come to attack me, I think I can still beat them.
Completed, sir. March.
I
Attack.
could even recruit the Libyan mercenaries, but I'm not too keen on doing that if I don't have to.
Sir.
And Placus here, I think it's called Placus. Surely not called Placis. Placus, I think I'm just going to leave him be, because with the possible exception of that rebel army, I don't think we need too much help there. This army here in Cyrene could go east.
Imperator.
I think I want Placus to go east.
March. No
That's
more
his Magna.
waiting, sir.
The public order could become a bit of a problem,
General.
so I should definitely send back the Velites at the very least. Carthage has grown, okay. So that's what we need to be spending our money on. I'm gonna give them monthly games for one turn, and I think we're gonna have to save some money at the end of this turn. Because we definitely need that. And that might give us Triarii. I actually think that is a possibility, because we could already get the Legion Barracks. I don't see it happening. Like, I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to get Triarii, given how many thousands that would cost to get the various upgrades, but surely. What's it now? It's a large city. And if I buy this Imperial Palace, it becomes a huge city. If you get the huge city, you can get the urban barracks, which gives you Triarii, experienced Triarii in fact. We can already get the army barracks, which would give us Triarii, so that's potentially pretty good. Carthage is really good for producing military. Perhaps we should take advantage of that a bit more. We'll get some Hastati because it will keep them happy, relatively happy, and we're going to drop back to yearly games because they're clearly not about to rebel, and we could use that 400 extra denarii just to fund the next palace upgrade. Cyrene, I think we should be prepared to branch out from here. Let's destroy the Shrine to Athena and replace it with... It is tempting to go for the Shrine to Neptune here, once we get a port. Because it is in a good location for naval attacks and naval recruitment. Even so, I think I'm feeling pretty scarred by the various public order difficulties we've been having. So I'm tempted to go for the Shrine to Saturn instead. Don't have to make that decision just yet though. Elsewhere, I think we're going to
Ready to sail.
bring the ships over. We should have a spy here. I've been keeping him in the town just to hopefully help with public order, but I want to send him across so that we know what we're up against if we do fight the Carthaginians. And do we want to keep the Hastati coming, or do we want to... I think we want the Temple to Saturn, because firstly it's very cheap, and secondly, once we move this army out, we're gonna need some public order help. That might be it for the turn. I definitely want to save as much money as possible. These guys aren't too happy, but they're still building. Masana's fine, so we don't really need anything there. Yeah, I think we're going to save the money for the Imperial Palace, because we definitely need that. We're already building fully in Sicily. Perhaps we could get something new in Syracuse. We could get the army barracks, which does give us Triarii. Very expensive though. If there's anything cheap I can buy here, probably will. Temple of Neptune seems like a good call. Send the diplomat slightly further.
Noble master, your honor.
Blocked off by an army there, but we'll just go around.
Moves depleted.
And I should have my second diplomat somewhere. I'm not sure what I did with him. He's here.
Yes.
Not too much to do with this guy, so let's try and send him all the way to Thrace, if possible.
Without delay.
Other spy. I see that there is a Numidian army. Faction leader, in fact. Quite a strong army. That's tough. I think we have to buy these.
Your Honor.
Because there's a good chance we're going to get attacked.
Orders.
We don't know what he has. And we don't have too much. I don't know enough about forts to know if it's worth buying one. I'm going to leave it for now. Certainly with our various cavalry.
Sir.
Actually, we only have the one cavalry unit there. It's most of our cavalry is in Leptis Magna still. And in that case, perhaps we should send them out.
Sir. Sir. Orders.
Let's see what the public order can withstand. We can recruit peasants.
Orders.
I think they should make up for it. I want to bolster this guy as much as possible. they're down to 15%. I'm hoping that peasants will show up with 240 individual soldiers, and if what I think I know about public order is true, then 1 unit of peasants should make them happier than 3 weakened units of cavalry, which only add up to, what, like 110 soldiers or something like that, so surely 1 unit of peasants should deal with the public order situation there. 1,900 left in the bank. That should be fine.
Aye, Captain.
Let's end the turn. Thrace is continuing to do very well. Numidia is definitely up to something. We've kicked out a spy, which I think is going to be good for our public order. Let's drop off our own spy in Carthage.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Moving ashore.
And we can see their town there,
Secrecy is
Corduba.
assured.
And they have Libyan spearmen plus Iberian infantry. It's kind of all infantry. I feel like we could go for the hammer and anvil technique of going in with some Hastati and then hitting them in the back with all these cavalry. We should be able to handle an army like that reasonably well. So it's tempting to go for the attack just to please the Senate. If they throw games at their expense, I believe that's going to improve public order. If it doesn't improve public order, then it will improve our standing with the people, which is also a useful thing that needs to happen at some point. Egypt and Armenia are allies, that's not too interesting. I think this is the last turn for Dimmidi to hold out, so they're going to have to come out and attack us. The rebels have not attacked us here.
Orders.
Before we go in, let's see if they've recruited anything
Your Honor. At once.
potentially
At
nasty.
once. At once.
Nope, same as before, so we should be good just to besiege that.
Attack! Besieging settlement, sir.
Couple of rams.
Settlement under siege, sir.
And they've actually not gone for the fight.
Sir.
Not sure how to interpret that. This guy's not going to be easy to take down. He's going to have a massive bodyguard unit. I think I just want to go back in the town for now. Potentially send some backup from Thapsus. Actually still can't afford anything in Carthage. Gonna need to save a lot. Let's go up to monthly games. And I think we're just gonna have to avoid buying pretty much anything. I think we were the most advanced faction, so we've actually slipped back slightly.
Fleet ready. Set sail.
Let's start gathering up a force. I think this will be the last turn of recruitment.
Sir. General.
I'm not expecting to make a huge amount of money in the next turn, but we can use everything we've recruited to potentially attack. Whether we go southeast and finish off the Numidians once and for all, or attempt an attack on Greece, is most likely going to depend on what Greece actually has.
Ready
Is it
to
worth
sail.
risking
Aye, Captain.
splitting our navy just to go and check that out? Well, we did defeat the rebel pirates earlier, so
Yes, Captain.
we should have a fairly safe crossing.
Yes, Captain.
It's going to be worthwhile just to know what we'd be up against if we did attack the Greeks. Numidia has... yeah, we already know. Yeah, we already knew about that, that's fine. Numidia had a spy, I think it's moved off somewhere. I don't think you can kill them. Unless it said that and I didn't read it, but... never
Sir,
mind.
Without delay, Your Honor.
I don't think there's a huge amount else we can do this turn. Still got at least one more turn we can wait before attacking Carthage. Don't want to rush into that too much. Is there anything I can do for public order? Don't think so. Cavalry stables doesn't really unlock anything decent. That's definitely not worth the money. find the Seleucids. Capua's doing okay. Don't really want to spend anything there. Right, so in the next turn we should have ourselves a big fight with Dimmidi, the Numidians. And potentially, next turn we'll have to deal with Martinez, interesting name, who is the Numidian faction leader. He looks really old, so if we wait long enough he might die of old age. Oh, he's 50. Yeah, okay, that's not going to happen for a little while. Probably going to have to fight him. In the meantime, in Cyrene, let's let's build the... No, I don't want to build anything just yet because we really need to keep as much in the bank as possible. Let's just end the turn. Gaul is still holding out. The very north of Italy. Okay, they've come to attack us. I think this is in Dimmidi. Yes, it is. I'm fairly confident about this. They have to come out and attack us. They're all skirmisher units, so if we just pull back, we make them come all the way out, we should be able to rout them fairly easily. Okay, so they're all going to have to come out. We've got a nice hill at the back. Gonna go park ourselves on there. Have our own Balearic slingers at the ready. And cavalry are going to be the main force that we're going to be trying to inspire a mass rout with in this fight. Let's group them all together. Try and charge them in. Can potentially use the Numidian cav to do the same thing. They don't have to fight at range. In fact, they can only throw 1 or 2 volleys, so they are reasonable at melee attack. Pretty similar to the Equites, but slightly less defense. I prefer not to, but most likely they will come into this at some point. Otherwise, I think we're good. Actually, 1 unit here I forgot to add. Bring them back too. It's for the Numidians to come for us. Which it looks like they will. They're all gathered at the front as well, so potentially going to come out in their masses. Or not. They actually look like they're pulling back, which is interesting. Only going to make it easier to deal with. The game thinks we're evenly matched, but not evenly matched enough that they wanted to fight us before now. I'm not too worried about this. They have to come out and fight us. No other way. Give them some time to figure it out. Okay, they're coming out now. Let's see, what they're coming with. Just the javelin men. We know that they're pretty much all javelin men, but I want them to be a little bit closer to us before we go for a charge. Otherwise they'll rout too quickly. We won't be able to do too much. Go to double speed. They're going to have to come towards us at some point. Possibly they're going to gather up first, but I don't think the AI is going to do such a great job of that. Just wait for them to move in. Being surprisingly organised. Which is fine. We'll keep waiting. They're literally coming out one by one. Slowly making themselves more and more organised. It's fine, it's not going to make a difference. I didn't even know the AI does it like this. Trying to be as intelligent as possible, and now they're coming over from all directions at the same time. That's an interesting one. So there's the general. Would be good to take him out. Possibly unrealistic though. Just a Numidian cav unit. But it would be ours if we charge in because of the difficulty we're on. be a little bit careful here. The idea is to mass route them as quickly as possible by hitting them from one side, not the other. If we're on the same side as the general, I would go for that, but I'm not. Okay, we've routed one of them. That's good, because we're now behind them as well. Okay, pretty much routing all of them, so let's just keep charging, go straight for them, and potentially even the general's gonna lose courage before too long. The unit's kind of ignoring my commands here, but we'll keep trying. As long as they move, that should be enough. Let's try and command them one by one, that might help. Now we'll go for the general. Put everyone on him at the same time. He's just going to move across the map. It's kind of annoying, but no point chasing him. He's only Numidian cav, so he should run out of ammo pretty quickly. I don't know if he'll stay in skirmish mode after that. In any case, let's make sure these guys stay scared. Let's see. Does he actually have any missiles? He does, I think. Something about reloading. Yeah, it's still fighting us. I'm just gonna pull back. Now, do we go for the town square? Looks to be empty. I think we should. That's going to force the Numidian cav in. We should be able to charge them. General over there. Surely must have run out of ammo. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. No, he's still got some ammo. That's fine, we'll go for it. It looks like he has that one final full unit. It's not necessarily going to be easy. Should definitely be beatable, but it's just a question of whether it can actually rout one of our units, which would not be too surprising. Because they are very thinly spread. As we appear to be engaging them now. Let's hope the infantry can get there slightly quicker, because it's not going to be a great fight otherwise. Okay, sadly not. So yeah, they are actually going to come in and try and fight us hand to hand. Surely now we would win. These guys are supposedly fighting. They have made it to the square.
The enemy general flees. Press forward.
Now we just need to try and rout everyone at the same time. Clear out the square. Now there's going to be that final unit. We just need to route it and move one. If I can just find it. Is that it? Let's leave one in the town.
Great gods be praised! The enemy general is killed! Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts!
Because we don't have the town square, I guess there's just this one guy. Let's finish him off. There we go. Job done.
Rome demands victory!
That was never going to be a serious contest with the skirmishes and nothing else. That's all Numidia has. But that's also good because we can now send most of this force north to potentially take on the Spanish. Again, play it safe, just kill them all, and they're still unhappy. That's the right thing to do. Dimmidi is ours. Popularity gained with the Senate, that's always good. Back to being the most advanced faction. Lucius Scipio, who's this guy? Just the governor. Probably never going to actually go out, but can't complain. Aulus Scipio, slightly better commander. That's this guy. 34 years old. Looks like a governor to me, don't think we're going to send him on too many conquest missions. Games held in Carthage. Don't really think that affects anything other than public order. But we can now afford the Imperial Palace, and I think we've got to go for that. Otherwise we're just losing too much money. As yeah, we've got to stay with the monthly game. Monthly games till that's done. More uninteresting diplomatic information. I think we're potentially ready to do something drastic. Sparta's looking not too heavily defended. Athens is a tougher prospect, but it is pretty much completely surrounded. Thrace has taken Larissa. Right, let's gather up a bit of force. And since they can't move any further, let's get one final unit of Principes. That leaves us with 500, which is exactly the amount we need to build a shrine to Saturn. Let's just go for it. Although it's not. I thought it was 500. It's 360. Okay, even better. Construction report. Syracuse and Tingi should be slightly happier now. And this is the turn when we have to decide, are we going to attack Carthage?
At your service.
I think we are. So we're in the town, they've got their faction leader there. It's going to be strong. 92 bodyguard unit. I don't think we actually... yeah, we don't actually have a general here. It's possibly the guy who I literally just said is not going to be used for any conquests. Might be a good option to send north. There's no general anywhere near otherwise. And that Numidian faction leader. He's got another family member with him. He's also got a few mercenaries with him. Mercenaries should be fine. It's the faction leader who could potentially be slightly difficult. Otherwise, we're sieging these guys. They should go down pretty quickly. And that's all fairly good progress. So I think we've done enough for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we will be taking Nepte, almost certainly, potentially making a big decision about whether we declare war on the Greeks or just strike out east and take the final Numidian town, other than whatever this one's called, Nepte, just said that. And then we've also got the decision to make about whether to attack Carthage, which, you know what, let's do it right now. Make the Senate happy. So we're going to have to invade Spain as well, so it's going to be an interesting part. We're going to have to make a few decisions about priorities and who to attack. But I think we've got some good options. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.